Sony just announced their new PlayStation Plus tiers that are going to be offering up to 700 plus games. More value than ever, more options, all in your face, right? And I wanted to discuss this today. Is this really like a competitor to Xbox Game Pass and Ultimate Game Pass? I mean, it's got its similarities, right? It's essentially taking PlayStation Plus and PlayStation Now and combining the two, right? But there's multiple tiers and you're getting different things depending on what you're going to pay for. So I wanted to take a look at this real quick because there are some caveats to all this craziness, right? So PlayStation Plus and Now come together, and you got three flexible options, right? PlayStation Plus Essential, which is essentially what most of us subscribe to if we have a PS5 or PS4, if you want to play online stuff and whatnot. And this new tier stands $60 a year. 2 monthly downloadable games. I don't even remember the last time I've looked at the downloadable games because I have this thing where it's like they're typically not stuff that I'm too interested in, or they're older games that either I already have or I don't care about. I know I should probably just grab them and add them to my library, but I just don't really pay attention because I look at it like if it's a subscription service and I can only have access to it as long as I pay, it's not mine. So I don't really care that much. I want to focus on the games that I buy and really want to play. But everybody's different. You know, maybe I should be grabbing that stuff, right? Exclusive discounts. This is all the same stuff. If you have PlayStation Plus, it's the same thing right now, $60 a year. Then we get into the where it really combines PlayStation Now and a few other things going on, right? PlayStation Plus Extra. This is $100 a year. Adds a catalog of up to 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games. Who says it's the most enjoyable? I think that would be subjective, right? And it's up to 400. There is no specific numbers here. It's just like, boom, up to. Maybe, right? Now, there's a caveat there with the games, right? It says, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog, so like first-party stuff, and third-party partners. Games in the extra tier are downloadable for play. But the one thing you have to keep in mind is new releases from Sony themselves. It ain't happening, bro. Jim Ryan here, the CEO, Gordon Ramsay there, he has stated that in terms of putting our own games into the service or any of our services upon their release, as you well know, this is not a road that we've gone down in the past. And it's not a road that we're going to go down with this new service. So day one release, it ain't happening. You ain't getting it because you're paying this extra money a year. Maybe eventually you will. Right? And it's not a road that we're going to go down with this new service. We feel if we were to do that with the games that we make at PlayStation Studios, that virtuous cycle will be broken. The level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible. And we think the knock-on effect on the quality of the games that we make would not be something that gamers want. So essentially, I mean, he's saying it from just the outlook at it, it's not going to be profitable to put those games there, or we're not going to make as much money as we normally would. You're selling $60 to $70 games and you're selling a buttload of them. Why would you put them on a service, right? Not right away. Once the sales dwindle down, then it's like, okay, now it's time, right? And you don't want to do that too soon either, because like if the game's out and it's 3 months later, you know, I would say like that first 3 months is really a big time, you know, for a release of a game. It's probably where most of your sales are going to be, depending on the time of year anyway. And if it's like right after that third month, you put it up on these new services, people would be pissed. Right? I just bought this game for $70 and now it's on the service, right? So that's just what they're saying. They're saying if they give you the games, first party games, day one, that they don't think they're going to make enough money to be able to put that back into the studios to make these games. So then the quality would suffer. You would be getting shitty games. And that's not what gamers want, right? So let's get back to these tiers, okay? So that was the Plus Extra, PS4 and PS5 games. And that's $100 a year, right? PlayStation Plus Premium. Now this is where things get a little tasty, right? Provides all the benefits from Essential and Extras tier. So it's like, boom, you get everything from before, right? Adds up to 340 additional games. Up to, like, there's no specifics here. Okay. PS3 games available via cloud streaming. They're not downloadable. They're not emulating PS3 games on the PS5, and the PS4 for whatever reason. It's just cloud streaming. So if you don't have solid internet, and here's the one thing, man, I have solid ass internet. Not to brag or anything, but my internet is solid for the most part. But at the same time, being somebody who has multiple consoles, I have an Xbox Series X, a Nintendo Switch, and a PS5. I don't know what it is. I love PlayStation. Don't get it twisted, man. But every PlayStation console that I've had, like when I test the internet connection speeds, never. It's like they gimp it or something. I don't know what it is, man. Like I've tried looking up tutorials how to get the best speed on your PlayStation. It's always slower than the Xbox for me for some strange reason. And that doesn't make any damn sense. I don't know what it is. Maybe somebody could help me with that, but past few years, I've looked at videos, articles, how to do this, port forwarding, all this crazy shit. And I never get any kind of improvements. Just weird. Like something is throttling it for some reason. And I have used PlayStation Now in the past, and it just didn't work for me with the cloud streaming. Cloud streaming with the Xbox games, it's been hit and miss for me as well. I'm just not big on cloud streaming. You just gotta, the stars have to align. Everything's got to be in your favor. You have to have solid ass internet connection, decent speeds, and it works for you. But yeah, PS3 games, they're not emulating it on your system. You're not downloading them. You're streaming them. Then you're also getting a catalog of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations. No Vita. No Vita. And I've seen people arguing about this. Why is there no Vita? Why no Vita love, motherfuckers? Like, I love the Vita. There's some awesome games for the Vita. And the one argument that I keep seeing people say is that you can't play Vita on a TV. You can't play it with a controller. You got to play the Vita on the Vita. Like, it's got touch control. It's got this. It's got that. All this crazy shit, right? Really, the problem would be the back touch crap. But most games didn't even use that, right? Most of the games that are on the Vita, I don't remember ever playing. I mean, I can't say most of them, but most of the ones I've played, personal experience, didn't use the back touchpad. So, okay. But then Sony also made a product called the PS TV, not to be confused with the PlayStation TV that was a 3D TV, right? Their naming with those devices kind of wonky, right? But the PS TV, where it was a consoleized PlayStation Vita. And how did you play that? With like a PS3 or PS4 controller, right? Like it just worked. And, PS5, we had that little touchpad right there. Like the games that use the touch screen, why not this, right? Why not put Vita games on there? Select Vita games, ones that are able to be played with the controller. But that's not what you're getting. But I think PS1 and PS2 and PSP being downloadable stuff is pretty cool. PSP, that's going to be cool. Download it. You don't own it, though. You don't own it. Like, these services, like, is there value there for you? For me, when it comes to, okay, $120 a year for the premium, I don't know that I could justify it because it's like, okay, that's $60. That's double what I'm paying now. That's, in the long run, an extra $60 a year. Like, shit, I pay what, $15 a month for HBO Max? Like, there's, it's not the overall that it's so much money because I pay for other services that add up to a hell of a lot more than that, right? But I have to look at the value to my money there. If I'm going to pay double for something, am I going to play a lot of those games? Am I going to enjoy them? I don't know. I have to see what's available, right? But then at the same time, it's like if you just offered me where I could download and buy these fucking games for the PS1, PS2, and PSP, like just offered them a virtual console for the PlayStation, here they are. I would prefer that instead of cloud streaming and essentially memberships to rent the games. You know what I mean? That's where I'm at. I'm not necessarily seeing the value, but then at the same time, there's a reason for me anyway, because I do pay for a Xbox Game Pass. I'm not an Xbox fanboy or nothing. I actually like the PlayStation better than the Xbox, but as a whole in my house, the Xbox gets more gameplay. You know, people in my house, my kids, even my wife occasionally plays the Xbox more than the PS5. I'm the one who plays the PS5. I do pay for Ultimate, but I always get like Black Friday deals on that, so I don't pay the $15 a month. And the games that you get access to on this are quite a bit limited, like over 100 quality games. All right, you're not getting 700 like with PlayStation, right? But they do have games that get added, games that fall off, and that's the one thing. It's like you pay for these services. There's no guarantee that a specific game is going to stay on there forever. Especially third-party stuff could, disappear, whatever contract they have, right? But the big thing was Xbox Game Studio titles the same day as release, man. So you were getting anything that Xbox Game Studio is putting out, it's there. You're not paying the $60, $70 in the store. You could try before you buy type of thing. But there's so many games on here that my family actually plays that I've decided, you know what, I'll stick to this, even though I don't utilize it that much. My kids do. And, I do get access to some of that stuff on the PC with Ultimate, right? Like you could pay for the PC $10 or console $10, one or the other, right? With Ultimate, it's like you get both and all those games, the EA games and all that stuff. EA Play, right? Xbox Live Gold, deals with gold, all that good stuff. So you're getting extra stuff with the Ultimate if you play on console and PC. But I could justify that for my specific situation. But I just feel like it's great that they're offering more, options, I guess, and they're combining their services. But I don't think for me, I'm going to jump into it. I prefer to just own the game instead of like, oh man, that game disappeared. Like there were games on the Xbox Game Pass that disappeared that I wound up buying after the fact because it was like, okay, the kids are still playing it. There's a couple that I cared about, but it's just like I'd rather just buy the game, you know what I mean? But I guess at the same time, it kind of worked out because then like the game that disappeared off of the service, like it wound up being cheaper instead of if I bought it that time. So I was already paying for it. But I don't know. I can never say never. But at this moment, until I really see how all this works and what's available, I think I'll stick to my $60 a year for now. Doubling it up for access to all that stuff sounds interesting, but for me, yeah, I'm going to have to wait on that. Let me know what you guys think down below. Really do appreciate every single one of you guys. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Bye.